cameras! Rolling. Hey, Mark.
So the first day of shooting, the longest car ride of my life, going from Silver Lake to Hollywood to the Music Box Theater.
The first day's location was shot at the Music Box Theater in Hollywood, where Peter Parker, after he's running on the roof, falls through the roof and comes down onto a wrestling stage. It's a great old theater in Hollywood. They'd recently undergone a renovation, and it just worked perfectly for our activities. We were able to fit in between a couple of shows that they had, and the work on the first day was seamless.
Part of Spider-Man's history is the wrestling thing, which we dealt with in a different way in this film.
A mask protects his identity, where persona does.
But we still referred to that sort of lucha libre fighting style, which I think was a nod to the older comics.
One of the things that was really important for Mark is to make things as realistic as possible. And so what we've tried to do from the very beginning is do as much as we can in camera as you possibly can before you go into the visual effects part of it, that the movements would be more natural and things like that. And I think we were smart in the sense that we got Andy Armstrong and Vic Armstrong involved in the project really early.
Vic Armstrong is one of the old school legends of the stunt business. He doubled Indiana Jones, Superman. I mean, he's done it all.
It's a great one where you see the body language change on the transfer.
Oh, yeah.
That would be really good.
Vic was there to sort of shepherd a lot of the action unit stuff.
I'd done my homework and watched the other movies, and then I met Mark Webb, and I could see he was on the same route as myself and my brother Andy, who I worked very closely with, in as much as we wanted to do it as realistically as we could.
We wanted to go very retro with it, where there would be much more physical action, much more real human interaction, which was something that Vic and I really wanted to do as well.
Okay, all right, please set up.
Vic was approached first, and then explained to Mark that if Vic was away doing the second unit, then I would be the person that would be working with Mark more closely.
Andy Armstrong really became my right hand in developing this.
He does a trunk roof fire escape, kick the guy off, and then he goes from one fire escape up to another fire escape on the other side.
All right. One of the things we talked about very early on was Buster Keaton. And we were both huge Buster Keaton fans. And part of that was he did everything for real. And you did things in longer takes. And that was something that we always aimed for in the stunt and the action sequences, was to try to make it feel as real and as authentic as possible. And Andy was pivotal in that. That's what they do.
3, 2, 1, action!
And cut. Good. That was pretty good.
Very good.
Our second day we shot at Larson Marine in San Pedro, and it's a family-owned marine repair shop. They work on all kinds of boats, from large to small. Mark wanted a place where Peter could sort of be learning to do his web slinging.
He grabs the next one.
We spent 5 days prepping it. The art department had a couple of days. The stunt guys had about 4 or 5 days. We built a big truss and all kinds of rigging in there, and it really worked great for that sequence.
It's Spider-Man realizing he's got these skills and developing these skills. We shot down in the San Pedro Marina. There's a big sequence down there where we have him actually flying. That's where he does his first real flying.
Ilram's on several lines. He is doing about 25 miles an hour, so if he hits anybody or anything, it's obviously going to hurt. So if you're in any doubt or you've got any equipment around that I may not have seen or don't know about, now's the time to speak up about it. Here we go, ready, and 3, 2, 1, action!
Vic and Andy Armstrong's stunt team are the best that I can imagine has to be out there. It's been a wonderful thing to get to know all those guys and to work with them, and for them to invite me and allow me into the fold, and to allow me to do as much physical stuff as the insurance allows. Which is quite a bit, actually. It's quite a fair bit that they've let me do.
And there's something really cool when you see the real guy doing something. And we've done that quite a bit with Andrew. Andrew's done some pretty gnarly bits of action, and it's very cool to have an actor that wants to do that. 3, 2, 1, action!
The high school is sort of a character in the film. It was decided by the filmmakers that we shoot the high schools here in Los Angeles. So we scouted literally all of the schools within LAUSD, and we branched out to many other cities. For some of the exterior work, we filmed at Taft High School off of Winnetka Boulevard. It's a great period 50s, 60s building. It looked an awful lot like Bronx High School, where we wanted to film initially in New York, but we just realized that with all the destruction that we'd never be able to film the interior there. So the little bit of high school work, we thought, let's get that in LA.
Eat it! Eat it! Eat it! Put him down, Flash!
There is a phenomena here everywhere, all over the world, of bullying. And it can be verbally or physically. And for Peter to take the position that that's not acceptable and try and deal with it, that's again a nice journey, something different. It's not just stopping a burglar. So we are touching on that and start building his character.
So we went to Taft to shoot the courtyard and a couple other pieces of work, where Gwen gets thrown out the window.
I'm gonna throw you out the window now.
What? The architecture is fantastic, and so I think once we remove a couple of palm trees from the background, nobody will ever know that we're not in the Bronx or Queens. We found a fantastic gymnasium at St. John Bosco High School in Bellflower. It's a 1960s construction building, has great lighting for our DP, and the school was fantastic to work with.
Ready, action.
We went there for 2 days and filmed the basketball court.
Come on, bring it! Come on, Parker! Come on!
Good God.
Three, two, one, action!
What's the matter with you, Parker?
You know, there's some stuff we shot on location in LA, which you never know if it's New York or LA. I mean, the downtown Los Angeles is a very good cover for some parts of New York.
Action, action.
We do this sequence in Upper Grand, which is doubling for New York, where Spider-Man is chased by the cops and he utilizes a big semi-truck and jumps over and spiderweb swings underneath the viaduct that he's on and swings down into New York. We'll integrate the two parts of the world into one there.
We ended up shooting in New York near the end of the schedule and incorporating it throughout the film. But again, we were trying to create a realistic world. We were trying to shoot on location as much as possible. But also, because of the amount of control we needed for some of the bigger action stuff, we redressed the entire backlot at Universal to orchestrate a living, breathing New York.
Universal has built an extensive New York street that has been there for a long time, but it burnt down, I think, approximately 3 years ago, and they rebuilt it. And they were just finishing it up, so it was available for us. So to have that and have Mike Rebo, who's our production designer, and Leslie, our decorator, go in there and create this world of New York City for us, but it's totally controllable. We can do stunts, we can drive into a building, we can have an explosion, we can do whatever we want to do for the movie. So that was an element that we felt was very important for our film, no matter what.
We designed and constructed basically an entire facelift on everything that was at Universal, and then created basically 4 blocks of New York and filled it with taxi cabs, which is probably the biggest secret, that you throw a cab in anywhere and it looks like New York.
Shop fronts and streetlights and fire hydrants, all of those things change rapidly in any city. So you look through all of the research you can find to make sure you're doing the right thing that looks like it's really on that city street.
Riva spent a lot of time with the smallest details, down to putting gum on the slidewalks to make it feel more like the city that we all love.
We spent a lot of money over at Universal and revamped the whole street, so we wanted to shoot every inch of it that we could, and the main unit went in there for a few days and shot the 3 crossroads there from every which way, and they changed the designs and everything else. So a lot of stuff goes on in there.
We were there for 2 weeks at night. It starts off with the lizard coming up through the subway, and he has a confrontation with the SWAT team, and we put like I think there was 900 bullet hits in the tile wall. We had to specially make the tile to match the subway tiles in New York.
We came up with this idea, let's just put some debris inside of a container and blow it up. Now you've got debris in the air, because that's really what you do. You want to create just chaos. And then we hang them from the ceilings. That's what the burger bomb is. And the name, the burger bomb, comes from the container.
Oftentimes, we use a paintball gun that shoots zirconium balls. It's the same size as a paintball, 68 caliber, and it's got zirconium and sand in it. When it hits the wall, it just makes a really nice spark.
One of the first big action sequences that we shot outside, which is where Captain Stacy comes down out of the helicopter with the SWAT team, and we capture him momentarily, and we have him on the ground. And you've got, people all around you. You've got, 4 or 5 city blocks worth of traffic and extras and all that stuff. And really, it comes down to that, that little beat with Spider-Man on the ground, which is, if it works, that's really what it's all about.
Action.
There's a sequence on the bridge where the lizard is coming after Dr. Rotha, and we had set up a bunch of cars on rigs that would shoot off and hurl them into the Hudson River below.
We couldn't do anything on the bridge in New York. It was out of the question, just logistics-wise. So the construction department literally built 300 feet of the Williamsburg Bridge on the back lot at Universal. And they really wanted to show the strength of this lizard. And so instead of just taking a car and launching it off the side, we had to jump over cars.
What they are is they're like gigantic pneumatic mouse traps. And we charge them with nitrogen, which is down there. It's about 2,000 PSI. This first one has 2 of them on it. And they'll go up like 10 feet in the air. It's going to be outrageous.
It's very safe and very well built by great special effects guys, but obviously they're big heavy pieces of steel and there's bits flying, so you can't be safe enough.
Here we go. And roll cameras. Ready? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It all worked, But that's the business we live in. We wreck things and have fun doing it.
Cut camera. Cut camera.
Somebody help! Help me, my kid is trapped! Please, anybody!
We're on the bridge, the cars just went crashing over the side. My car's dangling by a web, like it does. And he's gonna come climbing up out of this flaming vehicle with my kid.
I'm gonna be scared, and Spider-Man's gonna have me in his arms. And Tom here is gonna be my fake dad.
You sounded disappointed. Like Tom here. Like who did you want? You want like Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise? You got Tom Howell, man.
Ready and action.
Oh, God. Thank God you're okay.
One of the fun things about that sequence is there's a real emotional core to it. It's Peter Parker learning what it is to be Spider-Man. It's not just about vengeance. He realizes his powers can be used for something greater than his own satisfaction.
Spider-Man.
And cut. Good.
To be honest with you, personally, I think the best filmmakers in the world are in Los Angeles still. The best crews ever, the best equipment, the best support. So if I can't be in the city where it's based in, I'd love to keep it here.